Hi there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Fionnuala, and today we're going to talk about what you're going to be doing in your garden in November. You might think, November, what can I do? It's cold, it's wet, it's rainy. Not here in Zone 9B in Northern California. We have had one little bit of rain, and there's definitely more on the way next week. But right now, I've got a gorgeous day, perfect day for gardening. So what you're going to want to do, if your chickens aren't like interrupting you, is you're going to get out there and continue with your fall cleanup. Clear those ornamental beds, clear those veggie beds. And while you're clearing, you're going to watch out for slug and snail activity, because with that little bit of rain we've had and the cooler weather, you're going to see an uptick in the numbers. I did a video just on that last week, so watch out for it if you need tips on how to win the battle against slugs and snails. It's all there. That's how to do it. The other thing with your fall cleanup time, in your ornamental beds, have a really good look at what worked well, what didn't work well. See if you can figure out why it worked or it didn't work. And maybe do some editing in the garden. If there's plants that just didn't perform the way you wanted them to perform, it's time to get them out. Feels bad, or the other thing you can do is move them to a different spot, give them a different location, and maybe they'll do a little bit better. In the veggie garden, when you're cleaning out all your summer veggies, look for your pepper plants. Have a look at what performed really well. And I've got some tips for you as to how you can save those plants, overwinter them, plant them again next year, and then get them off to an incredible start. And it is super simple. What you do is you dig up around the root ball, bigger than the root ball is, find a pot that's even bigger than that root ball, plant it in there really, really carefully. You're going to prune it back ever so slightly, clean up anything dead, anything that just does not look healthy, and then you're going to move that whole plant in its 5-gallon pot over to a sheltered location that's going to stay warm all winter. Here at the nursery, I've got greenhouses. At home, I've got this perfect sheltered spot that I've overwintered peppers for a couple of years now. It does great. It gets sun all day, doesn't get too cold. Those peppers came through amazingly well. So there's those 2 cleanup tips. Once I hoosh these chickens out of here, we'll keep going. Give me a break. Okay, as far as pruning is concerned, there's not an awful lot of things that you're going to want to really run out there and prune, except for 2 things. This time of year, I really like to get out there and prune wisteria. There's a lot of growth that your wisteria is going to have put out, a lot of it in the wrong direction, but also, you're going to want to prune your wisteria if you're trying to increase the blooms for next year, because it'll bloom on new wood. So get out there and prune off the streely wisteria branches grow in the wrong direction. Prune off anything you think is just not performing right to encourage blooming. Redirect it, and you'll be really happy with the results there. The other thing I really like to get out with my snippers at is my pomegranate tree at home. Right now, pomegranates have fruit on them. There's this beautiful fall color. The branches are still all there, but right now, before the leaves fall off, you can tell what little branches are dead and what's alive, because they're twiggy, there's no foliage on them, and it's a really good time to get out there and just snip those off, because once the leaves fall off, you really can't tell what's live or dead on a shrubby, twiggy pomegranate tree. So that's kind of it as far as pruning is concerned. Fertilizing, you don't really need to do any fertilizing this time of year, except if you have a cool season lawn, good idea to get out there, give it a little bit of high nitrogen fertilizer. So one more thing before I start talking about planting. You've had your irrigation running all summer long. Some of the little emitters might be clogged, some of the tubing might be clogged. It's a great time of year to double check on your irrigation system, flush the tubing out, check the emitters, clean them if you can, and kind of put it away for the winter months before you have to use it again next spring. a lot of deposits at my house because I have a well. So it's something I do every November. I'm turning my irrigation off, checking it, flushing it. It should be nice and clean and ready to go next spring. Okay, now for the fun stuff. There is still time to plant. It's a great time to plant fruit trees. It's a great time to plant spring blooming colors such as sweet peas and alyssum and bachelor buttons and dianthus. It's a really, really nice time to plant cyclamen, which is my favorite, and this just might be my favorite color ever. Adorable little bicolor. Great for winter color. They're going to bloom all the way from now all the way through January pretty much. Of course, it's a really good time to plant natives. So that's it for the ornamental gardens and the edible gardens, trees and shrubs and fruit trees. But in the fall garden, in your edible vegetable garden, it is still a fabulous time to plant all your broccolis and cauliflowers and cabbages, winter greens, winter lettuces, peas. You're going to have a really good time in your fall veggie garden. But if you decide not to do any planting in the veggie garden, it's an excellent time to lay down a layer of organic compost or steer manure or a mix of the two and just have them there feeding your veggie garden all winter long so that it's totally ready to get going next spring. Other things to do in November that is a ton of fun is planting the rest of your spring blooming bulbs, but also forcing bulbs. Now, using the word forcing bulbs is a little bit of a misnomer because they really don't need an awful lot of forcing. I'm going to show you right now how to force paper whites. Then we're going to look at how to force amaryllis. One of the fun things to do in November is to start thinking about the holidays and what you might like to have indoors around the holidays. And one of the things I love to have are paper whites. So it's a lovely tradition in November to force paper whites. Why the word force is used is kind of, I don't really know, because it is so darn easy that not a lot of forcing is involved. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. First, you get a really nice little shallow container, because this is going to be on your kitchen counter, your dining room table during the holidays. So get something you like the look of. You're going to fill that container with small stones, small noisy stones or gravel, all the way to the top. I have to get a couple more over here. Here we go. I like this nice mix because it goes really well with the container I've chosen. And I've got paper white bulbs. Here they are, nice fat paper white bulbs. You want firm, fat paper white bulbs that don't have any squishy bits in them or signs of mold. And you place them pointy side up, and you can see there's a little bit of growth on these already. Root size down, jiggling them a little bit so that they stay firm in the gravel. And you space them out really nicely so that they're almost touching but not quite. Room for one more, I think. I'm going to put a little more gravel just to kind of firm them in. There we go. And then you simply fill your container with water so that it comes right up to the very, very bottom of the bulb. There we go. The bottom of it is just about sitting in the water, but you don't want the watermark to go up over more than 1/3 of the bulb. Then you're going to hide this away for 2 to 3 weeks in a cool, dark spot. After 2 weeks, you're going to start checking. And if you see root growth already happening, bring it on back out. Put it in a bright, sunny location at that point and let it start growing. And as soon as you see color in the little blossoms, then you move it back into a bright, out of the sun location, because that makes the flowers last a lot longer. And you are going to be so happy with the fragrance and the beauty, and you're going to have a gorgeous display for your holiday table. We are going to force an amaryllis bulb, even easier than paper whites. Basically, you pick out a big fat bulb with no squishy bits or mold on it. I chose this beautiful variety, a big white bloomer. Pop it into the container that you prepared. I love having a clear cylinder, or in this case, a square cylinder. Put some gravel in the bottom. Pop your amaryllis bulb in. Top it off with a little more gravel right there. And add water. Just add water. The cylinder here is going to support the shoot as it comes up, and you're going to be able to watch the roots go down. And 6 weeks before Christmas is the time to plant it, because this is going to come all the way up here, produce an amazing bloom, and you're going to have something wonderful to decorate your holiday table. We talked about taking away your irrigation system, flushing your system, basically turning it off for the winter. But if it doesn't rain for a couple of weeks, obviously get out there and water your plants. It'll give you a great opportunity to see how everything's going, let you have another look to see how slugs and snail populations, are they on the uptick? Are they on the decline? But you'll keep your plants hydrated while we wait for these rains to really properly kick in. The other thing to watch out for weather-wise is, of course, frost. Again, we're in Zone 9B up here. Sonoma County is one of the best climates in the whole entire world, but we do get frost. Some of your plants are frost tender, meaning they might melt if it gets frosty or suffer otherwise if the temperatures go below 32 degrees or 30. So get to know your succulents, who are the hardy ones, who aren't. And if you've just recently planted a citrus tree, many of those can go just fine all the way to 28 once they're fully established. But if they're new, they might need a little bit of protection. Best way to protect them is either spraying them with this great product called Wilt Stop, or cloud cover, or some other anti-transparent. But something I like even better is draping it with frost cloth. If you've got a tender little citrus tree, or especially if it's a lime or something like that, they take a few years to really get their roots down, and then they're going to need protecting up top if the temperatures get low. Get ready with some protection. Frost blankets increase the temperature underneath by as much as 10 degrees, so get ready with it. We have not even gotten close yet. It's November 8th. It is 35 degrees at the coldest, maybe 3-4 nights ago, but you know it's coming, so get that stuff in, get ready for it, and get ready to get out there and protect your baby plants if they need it. Hey, so thank you so much for watching all about what to do in your garden in November. Probably a lot more than you thought you could be doing. It is a great time of year, so much fun to get outside. So I hope these tips were helpful. I am itching to get out in my garden today. It is such a gorgeous day. So take all these tips, get outside, have some fun, and if it does rain, get yourself some paper whites and start forcing them. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye for now.